The Galactic Unified Science Directorate was one of the most advanced research facilities in the entire galaxy. It floated silently in the darkness of space, orbiting a fading red dwarf star. The station was massive, filled with advanced machines, glowing scanners, and rooms where alien scientists studied life forms from hundreds of planets. Normally, nothing surprised them. They had studied creatures with acid blood, telepathic microbes, and even a species made entirely out of liquid metal. But today was different. Today, the entire station whispered about only one subject. The human. The specimen had been taken from a small blue planet called Earth, a world most aliens considered primitive and unimportant. The humans had no starships, no galactic presence, no advanced medicine. To the galaxy, they were just another simple species. At least, that was what everyone thought until the research began. Inside Laboratory Hall 7, dozens of xenoscientists gathered around a glowing glass chamber. The human stood inside it, calm, alert, and strangely fearless. Bright blue scanning beams moved across his skin, collecting biological data. Everything was routine until the alarms began. The hollow screen started flashing red. Numbers spiked and glitched. The scanners tried to measure the human's biology, but the results made no sense. One alien scientist, a tall insect-like creature with crystal blue eyes, adjusted the controls. "Run that again," he said. The computer obeyed. Beep, beep. Warning, data error. The room fell silent. Another scientist, short and scaled with glowing silver patterns across her skin, stared in confusion. "This cannot be right," she whispered. "His cells are repairing themselves faster than our instruments can record." More readings appeared, this time in bright yellow. Immune response, off the charts. Cell regeneration, accelerating. Pain response, low. The lead scientist, Dr. Veltor, stepped closer. His four eyes narrowed as he studied the hologram. "Impossible," he muttered. "No species should be able to do this. Not naturally." A nervous assistant spoke. "Maybe the specimen is malfunctioning?" The human inside the chamber smiled slightly, as if he understood every word. Dr. Veltor shook his head. "No, the instruments are correct. We are looking at something unprecedented." More tests ran automatically. The scanners injected simulated diseases into the projected model. The human's body fought them instantly, not just resisting, learning from them. Within seconds, the hologram showed complete immunity to multiple deadly viruses. A wave of confusion and fear moved through the room. One scientist stepped back. "If this is real, then humans should not be alive. Their biology breaks every logical rule." The screens continued updating, showing strange patterns in the DNA code. At first, it looked chaotic, unstable, and flawed. But then the pattern shifted, reorganizing itself into complex, efficient structures. It was as if the human body was not simply alive, but constantly upgrading. Dr. Veltor spoke again, softer this time. "No recorded species adapts at this speed. This is beyond evolution, beyond biology. It is something else." The alarm stopped. The room grew eerily quiet. Every pair of alien eyes locked onto the human, the creature who stood there without fear, without weakness, without explanation. And for the first time in many cycles, the scientists of the galaxy felt something they were not used to feeling. Not curiosity, not excitement, but uncertainty. Because in front of them stood a species that broke all their science, a living contradiction, a mystery, a threat, and possibly the beginning of something the galaxy was not prepared for. After the shock of the first tests, the alien scientists wasted no time. They prepared more advanced equipment, activated stronger sensors, and increased the staff inside Laboratory Hall 7. What began as a routine biological scan had now become the most important research investigation in decades. The human remained in the containment chamber. He showed no fear. His heartbeat stayed calm. Even his breathing was steady, as if he already knew nothing in the room could harm him. Dr. Veltor raised a hand, signaling the team. "Begin phase 2. The lights dimmed. The stasis chamber filled with a soft blue fog meant to measure respiratory efficiency and stress reactions. Normal species panicked during this process. Their bodies resisted, heart rate spiked, and some even passed out. But the human didn't panic. His oxygen levels remained perfect. His heart rate slowed, almost as if he was meditating. A scientist stared at her datapad. His stress response, it is backwards, she said. Stress does not weaken him. It stabilizes him. Another added, his muscles are reinforcing themselves. We are not weakening him. We are improving him. That sentence sent a cold wave of realization through the lab. Dr. Veltor leaned closer to the glass. This species adapts under threat, he said quietly, like a weapon designed to grow stronger when attacked. A new round of tests began: vibration stress, cold exposure, controlled radiation, biological challenges. Each test was supposed to record damage and weakness. Instead, the holographic readout showed the opposite. Muscle density increased. Bone structure reinforced. Nerve response became faster. Immune activity multiplied. One scientist whispered, "This is evolution at impossible speed." But then came the next experiment, the one that changed everything. An energy probe extended from the ceiling, preparing to release a controlled shock. The shock level was calibrated to be painful but non-lethal, something that would normally leave most species unconscious. Dr. Veltor paused. "Increase the level by 20%, he ordered. "We need accurate limits." The scientists hesitated, but they obeyed. The beam fired. The human's body jolted from the electricity. But then something strange happened. Instead of collapsing, the human straightened. His posture became stronger. His pupils narrowed. His muscles tightened as strength surged through his body. Then, unbelievably, his pain response dropped to zero. The alarms triggered again. Warning: adaptation in progress. Nervous system response unknown. The silver-scaled scientist gasped. He absorbed the shock. His nerves changed. They adapted to the pain signal. The readings now showed something even more shocking. Energy conversion. Active. Dr. Veltor stared in disbelief. He didn't just survive the shock, he whispered. He turned the energy into strength. Silence filled the room. Heavy, tense, unreal. One assistant finally spoke, voice trembling. "Should we stop? This test may activate responses we cannot control." Dr. Veltor considered the suggestion, but his curiosity overpowered his fear. "No," he said slowly. "We continue. This is no ordinary organism. The galaxy must understand what it is capable of." The human looked directly at him then, not with anger, not with fear, but with a strange, knowing expression, as if he understood everything, as if he had been waiting for this. The scientist felt it clearly, the shift in atmosphere. The human was no longer merely a specimen. He was now a discovery powerful enough to change the balance of the galaxy. And in the minds of everyone present, a single question echoed. If this is only the beginning, how far can a human evolve? The lab fell into a strange quiet after the last experiment. Machines hummed softly, monitors flickered, and alien eyes stayed locked on the human, as if waiting for something else to happen. For the first time since the study began, Dr. Veltor spoke directly to the subject. "Human," he said, his voice steady but cautious, "can you understand us?" The human lifted his head slowly. His eyes were sharp, calm, aware. "Yes," he replied. His tone was relaxed, almost casual, as if speaking to aliens was normal for him. Several scientists stumbled back. Others froze in shock. They had expected confusion, fear, or silence. They had not expected confidence. Dr. Veltor cleared his throat. "You have reacted in ways no species in this galaxy has ever shown. Do you know why?" The human didn't answer immediately. Instead, he studied the aliens with a level gaze, calculating, observing. Finally, he spoke. "Where I come from," he said, "life is not easy. Our world is dangerous. It forces us to grow stronger or we die. That's how humans survive." The words were simple, but the meaning hit the aliens like a shockwave. A small researcher with glowing teal skin stepped closer. "Your biology changes under pressure. You evolve in real time. That should be impossible." The human shrugged. "Doesn't feel impossible to us." Another scientist asked, Do all humans respond this way? The human smirked. Put one of us in danger, he said, and you'll see. The lab felt colder after that sentence. Dr. Veltor slowly walked around the containment chamber, studying the specimen as if seeing him for the first time. You do not behave like prey, he observed. Every other species we have tested shows fear. You do not. The human tilted his head slightly. We learned early in our history, he said, that fear doesn't keep you alive. Action does. One of the younger scientists whispered. But you are fragile. Your bones can break. Your organs can fail. Your species has no claws, no natural armor. The human chuckled softly. Maybe, he said, but when something tries to kill us, we don't just run. His eyes hardened, not with anger, but with memory. We fight. We adapt. We come back stronger. Those words settled into the lab with a weight none of the aliens could ignore. The silver-scaled scientist looked uneasy. What if you face something much stronger? Something you cannot defeat? The human's voice turned serious. Then we learn how to defeat it. A long silence followed. The aliens were beginning to understand. Humans were not dangerous because they were physically powerful, but because they refused to stop evolving. Dr. Veltor finally exhaled and touched the control panel. We believe we brought you here to study you, he said quietly. Now I see the truth. The human's eyes narrowed. What truth? Veltor looked around at his fearful team, then back at the chamber. We are not studying a life form, he said. We are studying a possibility. A possibility the galaxy might not be ready for. The screens around the room continued updating with new data. Faster healing, increased neural activity, improved reflex time. The numbers kept climbing. Human potential had no visible limit. One final thought echoed silently in every mind. If one human could evolve like this, what would happen if an entire species was pushed to its limits? The answer terrified them, because suddenly the galaxy felt much smaller, and humanity felt much, much larger. The atmosphere in Laboratory Hall 7 had completely changed. Once, it had been a place of curiosity and routine research. Now it felt like a courtroom, with a human standing at the center as both mystery and threat. More machines activated around the containment chamber. Glowing blue rings rotated slowly, scanning deeper than before. These scanners did not read muscles or nerves. They searched memory patterns, genetic history, and hidden evolutionary markers. Dr. Veltor stood with arms crossed, watching carefully. Begin deep genomic analysis, he ordered. The machines responded with a soft hum. The holograms shifted. Instead of numbers and graphs, the screens now displayed complex DNA structures, twisting, glowing chains of information. At first glance, the sequence looked chaotic. There were random loops, mismatched sections, and unusual repeating patterns that made no biological sense. A scientist frowned. This appears unstable, like damage code. But then, something unexpected happened. The chaotic pattern reorganized itself. Strange sequences aligned. Repeating loops formed perfect symmetry. Dormant sections activated and connected to active ones, forming a structure more advanced than anything seen before. The room froze. One scientist whispered, voice shaking. His DNA rewrites itself. Another added, no species can do that. DNA is a fixed blueprint. It can mutate slowly, not reorganized by choice. The human watched quietly, as if none of this surprised him. Dr. Veltor leaned forward, eyes wide. This is not randomness, he said. It is strategy. The hollow screen began translating segments. New labels appeared. Molecular repair trigger. Adaptive evolution response. Emergency strength multiplier. Quantum memory encoding. The last term caused an uproar. Quantum memory? A stunned researcher gasped. That means humans store survival experiences in their genes. Every generation becomes stronger, not by chance, but by inheritance. It was the scientific equivalent of lightning. The galaxy had always believed evolution was slow, a passive response to pressure over millions of years. But humans were different. Humans evolved fast and with purpose. The human finally spoke again. Every hardship we survive teaches us something, he said. Sometimes a lesson remains in the body, and sometimes it becomes part of the next generation. The teal-skinned scientist blinked in disbelief. So your species learns from suffering? The human nodded. That's how we survive. Silence fell. For the first time, the aliens understood the true scale of what they were facing. Across the galaxy, species with advanced technology believed they were superior, protected by knowledge, civilization, and progress. But humans had something stronger. They had adaptation born from struggle. One shaken scientist finally voiced a thought no one wanted to say. If humans continue evolving at this rate, they could surpass every species in the galaxy. Dr. Veltor closed his eyes for a moment, processing the truth. When he finally spoke, his voice was low and serious. This discovery will change everything: politics, science, war, power. Humanity is not just another species. They're a biological wild card. He turned toward the human. Tell me, he said quietly, do the others on your planet know what they are? What they are capable of? The human slowly smiled, not with arrogance, but with something deeper. Hope. No, he said. Not yet. The room went cold, because if an unaware humanity was already this powerful, what would happen when they finally realized their full potential? The laboratory remained silent after the human's final words. No one moved. No one spoke. The idea that humans didn't even know their own potential was more terrifying than anything shown in the test results. If a species was powerful by accident, what would happen when they became powerful on purpose? Dr. Veltor finally broke the silence. We must decide what happens next. His voice was calm, but every scientist could hear the tension beneath it. Some began whispering, we should isolate Earth. The galaxy cannot risk their evolution accelerating. No, another argued. They must be studied further, but from a distance. A third voice trembled. What if humanity sees this testing as hostile? What if they react? The human inside the containment chamber watched them quietly, not angry, not distressed, only thoughtful. He seemed to understand exactly what they were debating. Finally, he spoke. You're afraid. Every alien in the room flinched, as if the words themselves carried weight. Dr. Veltor faced him. We are cautious. Your biology does not belong to natural evolution. It is unpredictable. The human gave a slow nod. I understand, he said, but fear can lead to dangerous choices. A tall insectoid scientist stepped forward. Are you threatening us? No, the human replied. I'm warning you. The lights in the chamber flickered as the machines recalibrated. The system detected no aggression, only elevated mental activity. The human's brain scan showed high neural processing, calm emotional state, and something else the machine struggled to categorize: determination. The silver-scaled scientist finally asked a question weighing on everyone's mind. What do humans want? The human smiled, softly, almost kindly. We want what every species wants. To survive, to learn, to grow. He paused. But if someone tries to cage us, break us, or destroy us, we will not stop. The room held its breath. We will adapt. We will resist. And eventually we will overcome. His voice never grew louder. It didn't need to. Every word carried the quiet force of a truth that could not be ignored. Dr. Veltor exchanged glances with the others. No one dared speak against what they all now understood. Keeping the human captive was no longer an option. With a slow, deliberate motion, Dr. Veltor pressed a code into the control panel. The glass chamber unlocked. The barrier shimmered and dissolved. The human stepped forward, free. One nervous scientist whispered, You're letting him leave? Dr. Veltor nodded. Not because we trust him, he said softly, but because his species has earned something rare. He turned toward the human. Respect. The human gave a slight bow, not submissive, but grateful. Thank you, he said. As he walked toward the exit, the scientists watched in silence. Not one tried to stop him. Before leaving, he glanced back one final time. Tell your leaders this, he said. Humanity does not seek war, but if war finds us, we will survive it. Then he was gone. The doors closed behind him with a soft hiss. For a long moment, no one spoke. Finally, Dr. Veltor turned toward his team. "Prepare a report for the Galactic Council," he said. "The galaxy must know." He looked at the empty chamber, the place where fear had turned into understanding. "This may be the beginning of a new chapter," he continued. "One where the galaxy must decide if humanity is a threat." A small, uncertain smile touched the corner of his mouth. Or a future ally. Because one truth was now undeniable. Humanity had already changed the galaxy. And soon, the galaxy would change humanity.